Well, welcome back to New York Sports WickerMedia. I'm Watson-K99. Thank you, as always, for taking the time to watch these videos. So on a Sunday morning, I woke up to the news that the New York Mets had traded for Jessewinker, the left-handed hitting outfielder from the Washington Nationals. Now, this deal is not final yet. Medical records are still pending. So we don't have a final return just yet. So I don't think it's fair to completely evaluate the trade. But I did want to come on here and break down some of the pros and the cons of this move. Now, certainly Jessewinker is an upgrade for the bench. The Mets can use an upgrade with their left-handed hitters. Winker can be a good left-handed bat off the bench and can give you an occasional start in the outfield or even at DH. Also, he's having a very good year in DC. So in 100 games this year, Winker is batting .253, .372 on base, .417 slugging with 11 home runs, 18 doubles, 44 RBIs, also a career-high 14 stolen bases. His OPS is .788. That's pretty respectable. And if you look at OPS plus, it's a 128. Okay, great. Now, the thing with Winker, he's been a bit of a journeyman throughout his Major League Baseball career. So I guess if you want to get him in a career year, may as well. It's just a one-year deal, so he'd be a free agent after the year. Also, great plate discipline. He has walked at a 14% clip. And if you look at chase rate, that is only at 8%, which is a very low number. In fact, both of those numbers are in the top 3% in all of baseball. Now, as far as the roster move goes, yes, it definitely upgrades the bench. Everyone assuming that DJ Stewart is going to be gone, but I think it could be Ben Gamel as well. Of course, the Mets did also sign Jackie Bradley Jr. They've got him in the minor leagues, and he seems to be hitting pretty well. So maybe the Mets bring up both Winker and Bradley and let Stewart and Gamel go. And as somebody who's been a DJ Stewart fan for a long time, I would actually embrace it, because I'm tired of seeing all the slander posts about him. Like he's the biggest problem on this team. They're Met fans who want to get DJ Stewart charged with the Kennedy assassination, for crying out loud. All right, but seriously, the depth definitely will improve. Now let's talk about the obvious thing. It's no secret that the Mets, particularly the Mets fans and Jessewinker, have had a very interesting relationship. Winker just has a tendency to play well against the Mets, going back to his days in Seattle, on to Cincinnati, Milwaukee, now with Washington. Just a couple weeks ago, July 4th, Winker hits that game-winning home run off Adrian Hauser in D.C., a game that, of course, I happen to be at. Lucky me, right? But Winker actually is a native of New York State, from upstate near Buffalo, and he's got a lot of admiration for Mets fans. Let's play some audio from Jessewinker from 2022 after a Mets-Mariners series. Let's play that right now.
I'm going to be honest with you, I love them. They are an amazing group of people. They are very passionate about their team and their city. And from a guy who, born in upstate New York, big fan of that football team up there, I can understand the passion, I respect it, and this thing we got going on is special.
Well, I'm sorry he's a Bills fan, but I'll let it slide. But yeah, this is almost like that babyface turn. This is like, you name your favorite wrestling villain. When Roman Reigns becomes a babyface when he comes back, that's what this is probably going to be like. When Roddy Piper turned babyface in the 1980s, to go back a few years. So there are a lot of pros to this. Now, some of the cons, he's not really that much of a power hitter. I know he's got 11 home runs, but if you look at things like exit velo, bat speed, if you look at those are not very good. His bat speed is in the bottom 15% in baseball. Hard hit rate, about average for the most part. But the bigger thing for me is defense. How are the Mets going to line up their outfield defense? When Winker plays defense, he's typically in left field. And right now the Mets have more of a hole in right field. Do you move Brandon Nimmo over to right field? I don't know. I mean, if we're looking at right field, Jessewinker has not played it on a regular basis since 2018. All right, so that worries me. And I guess what it really goes back to, is there a deeper issue with Harrison Bader with his ankle? Starling Marte, when's he ever going to be back? So I guess you probably do play Jeff McNeil in right field, but you can't take Nimmo out of the lineup, even though he has been slumping since the All-Star break. But maybe now we see Nimmo back in center field for a little bit and Winker in left. There's a number of ways that you could do it. And, of course, Tyrone Taylor would be there as the right-handed outfield bat. So not sure how that's all going to line up. That's up to Carlos Mendoza. And I don't know how much this trade particularly is going to transform the team. Pitching is still the major need, and that to me is what's going to make the difference between this team being a wild card contender, a wild card favorite, or even something more than that. Okay, I did not feel they needed a starting pitcher. But when they lost Kodai Senga, I'm sorry, I can't look at Tyler McGill in the bullpen, in the rotation for 2 months. If anything, I think he should be relieving. I think he's good for maybe 2 innings at a time. You could move Jose Butto back, but he has been so darn good in the bullpen. I don't want to take him out of that spot. So to me, I could deal with McGill and Butto in the bullpen. So maybe it is a starting pitcher. Maybe the Mets go after a Blake Snell, maybe a Chris Bassett, Eric Fetty, although there's a lot of teams after him, especially the Milwaukee Brewers. And the other thing, like I said earlier, we don't know the return right now. Now, I assume it's a pitcher because it's pending medicals. It cannot be Brandon Sproat, okay? That would be unacceptable. I don't expect the Mets would give him up for a rental like Winker. If they gave up maybe a Mike Vassell, a Nolan McLean, or a Blade Tidwell, I wouldn't be happy about it, but I guess I would get it. The next level down, you're talking about a Jonah Tong, a Tyler Stewart, or a Dom Hamill. If it has to be one of those guys, then I guess I would be okay with it. But I would expect a minor league pitcher to be going back to the Nationals in this trade. All right, well, let's see what happens when we get the return. Mets, of course, have a huge game in of just a couple of hours from right now against the Atlanta Braves, and they better win it. They're going against Reynaldo Lopez, who was, as of recently, leading the National League in ERA. So I can't say I'm overly confident, especially after the offense got blanked yesterday by Spencer Schulenbecker or Twellenbecker, or whoever this guy was. Just an absolute no-show from this Mets offense. So I'm nervous, but I'm always going to be nervous when it's Mets-Braves. I've been dealing with the same thing for 20 years. Why would it change now? More than 25 years, really. All right, everybody. Well, thanks so much for watching. Of course, reminder to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. And we'll be back, of course, for the Wednesday night live show. I'll have a special guest joining me that night, Wednesday night, 6 p.m. Eastern. And I'll see you right back here with more content from you know where, the Wicker Chair.